Hey, this is Andre Bermudez. I'm doing an analysis and a little brief summary about the Boys Catcher book for the marketing class. Uh, when I first started reading this book, really got surprised for how the marketing is changing and is adapting to the new technology advancements. Since I was younger, teenager, I was kind of interesting for the marketing path, but I think what I really attracts me about this career, this path, it was the relationship that you develop with your brand to connect with the people, like creating this group, this union between the customer and the product. And I think there's a lot of room for creativity to approach this kind of different scenarios. So when I started reading this book, honestly, it just changed my mind. Definitely, there's a difference concepts and the new ways that the technology can be implemented to actually have a more accurate, more efficient way to connect with your customers, your product and customers. To start with the questions that were listed, it's like what were the three things that most surprised me about the book, and I will say the first one and the one that really surprised me is the fact that technology is now companies nowadays are using a lot of voice recognition, but not just to interact with the customer, to say a command and process a command and give you a response back, but the way that start to doing a deep analysis in the emotional side of your voice. I've been thinking as when you develop an application, most of your inputs, the way that you communicate with the computer is through the keyboard or through the mouse. Basically, you can select this. The system still can analyze based on the context of the conversation. How do you ask for something, or in the Google search engine, how do you communicate with the system? But this book really made me think like the voice is more than words, is more than a command. It really opens the opportunity to explore and research more about your emotions. And I found it fascinating for one side, but at the same time, I found it kind of scary for all the vulnerability for the customers and how deep they can get into our way that we think, we feel. But uh, besides that, I just found it kind of interesting because when someone asks you, "Hey, good morning, how are you?" Even you can say, "Type right, I'm doing well," but in your voice tones, there's a lot of to change. I'm doing well can be positive. I'm doing well, doing like there's a lot of elements that definitely the inputs from it and just writing or clicking it can be missed. So I really found really interesting the way that uh, the technologies are really focusing to analyze our emotions to go beyond the words and trying to really create a more accurate profile of us as a customers. Um, I think the second thing that really surprised me is kind of connected with all these changes that the technology is evolving pretty fast, and nobody really knows where this is gonna take us. Or in 1 year, like change a lot of the rules of it can change the rules of the games can truly be changed. And based on these conditions and kind of this new field that we're playing, there's really few regulations. I think what I would like to say is what really surprised me is the lack of regulations established for these new artifacts and new ways that the companies are really investing to connect to the customers. And at this point, I can tell like nobody really knows how to handle this situation. Or we're trying to make decisions and regulations based on what we already know, but this is kind of the future, and we're not really sure how to approach it and how to change it. And finally, the third part of the regulation is, sorry, not regulation, that really surprised me. It's it's the microphones by itself. It's, I think, like 80% of our daily interactions as humans is through the voice, is through the chat with someone else. And just the fact to having a cell phone with us, like every mm, every hardware that has a microphone, having the ability to spy us, to really keep listening to us, analyzing our day to days, our conversations. There's a lot of sensitive data, which is kind of related with the second point that I said, like these regulations are not very well established. It's scary, but the third point is like how easy and accessible it's for these companies to really have access to this part of our data. Sorry. Um, Moving forward, kind of related, like with this kind of innovations and market determinations, and the questions was what could be the impact of your read on your favorite brand. I really was thinking in how this can really change the interaction with the band that I really enjoy. My background in music, I was really thinking like also how the music industry and the way that we're currently doing music can truly make a change into the way that we build music and we appreciate the music, because also analyzing our music patterns or music tastes or playlists, how we determine, there's a lot of data that also can be connected with our emotions. And from the other perspective, like with the follow-up questions, is how they could be really implemented with the customers. Me as a music composer, I've been thinking there's really nice facts that like the voice automation can really help for the music composition and music production processes, which nowadays most of the way to really create music is through a digital audio workstation such as Logic Pro, Pro Tools, with some of the most populars. But all this process is very manual through the click and kind of like uh, setting up a mini note, sorry, MIDI notes through the key through the platform and kind of set up the motion, the details of the composition that you're building. But definitely, I start to see new innovations that how cool rather than do it everything manually and keep losing that kind of taste of production, just communicate with the product, with the system, and really starting asking for more specific kind of sequences, rhythms, harmonies, and it will be more accessible not just for musicians that you have to write down like harmony patterns, like more advanced knowledge, but also more casual language that can be implemented into the music process. So I think there's still a lot of growth for these kind of industries, and it's gonna be excited what's gonna happen. But so far, it has been a really great experience reading this book, and definitely opened my mind to different sectors and industries, how the marketing is gonna evolve during the next coming years.